Hello, everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk back then, in an ancient village nestled in a gloomy valley, people still whispered about a legend that had haunted generations. It was a story about a ghost wedding that was forgotten, and the ghost bride wandering in the cold mist, leaving chilling scares that made anyone who heard it shiver. That village was famous for its antiquity and tranquility, but behind that peaceful appearance was the darkness of horror stories that never slept. The old people said that every time the full moon hung in the sky, the wind blew through the mossy, tiled roofs. The wedding bells still echoed in the night. Even after 100 years had passed, the story began with a wealthy family in the village. Their only daughter, Anna, was married to a young man from a faraway land. The wedding was planned to be a grand affair, with hundreds of lanterns lighting up the path leading to the ancient communal house. But something strange happened. On the big day, the groom suddenly disappeared. No one knows why, nor has the body been found. The villagers say he was taken by a ghostly force, but some say he never existed. Anna, in her pure white wedding dress, waited all night in the ancient communal house where the ceremony was being prepared. When the rooster crowed, the bride was still sitting there, her eyes lifeless, her lips whispering words that no one could hear clearly. And then Anna disappeared, leaving behind a blood-stained veil. From then on, the legend of ghost stories in the village began to spread. People said that Anna's soul could never be released because the wedding was unfinished, because the pain of being forgotten in the middle of the banquet had not yet taken place. Every year, when autumn comes, the familiar scene repeats itself. Anyone passing by the ancient communal house at midnight will see a ghostly wedding silently appear. The bride in her white dress stands at the end of the aisle, smiling hauntingly, still holding a wilted bouquet of flowers. It was a smile that made many people run away in panic, but there were also curious ones who stayed and then never returned, in a chilling scare that the villagers often mentioned. There was a group of young men drinking alcohol, daring each other to go to the ancient temple on the night of the full moon. They wanted to prove that the rumor was just fiction. But by morning, only one person was left, his face pale, his mouth stammering. In his hair, people saw a few withered rose petals, exactly like a wedding bouquet. He then lost his mind, only continuously repeating that he heard someone calling his name, a soft voice right next to his ear, but there was no one around. Haunted stories like that make ghost weddings even more hauntingly fearful. Anna became a symbol of forgotten resentment. People said she often appeared in the dark, asking lost people if they had seen her husband. Whoever answered incorrectly immediately fainted, dreaming of a strange wedding party where the table was full of ghosts sitting and giggling, while the bride stood in the middle, covered in tears. However, the most terrifying thing was that someone woke up with a strange mark on their wrist, as if tied by an ancient red thread of a marriage ceremony. This further reinforced the belief that the unfinished wedding ceremony was still going on in the world of the dead. The elders recounted that since the tragedy happened, no one dared to hold a wedding ceremony in the ancient communal house. Young people in the village, every time Anna was mentioned, shivered, because there were girls who accidentally saw their reflection in the old wedding mirror. But instead of their own face, they saw a bride with bright red eyes, smiling lips, whispering, "It's your turn." Those chilling scares caused many people to leave the village. to avoid the fate of being bound by the curse. However, no one dared to destroy the ancient communal house. It was believed that it was the place where the bride's soul was kept, and if destroyed, Anna would unleash terrible anger on the whole village. So they just left it deserted, covered with moss, with the doors locked. But anyone who passed by at night confirmed that the lights were still on inside. The wedding music was echoing, and the laughter of invisible guests was humming. Each of those sounds, like endless ghost stories, crept into the mind, keeping people awake for months. There is a detail that few people know, which is that the wedding book that year still exists. It was forgotten in an old wooden box, located in the corner of the village church's warehouse. Each page was yellowed, the ink was smudged, but Anna's name was still clear. The space for the groom's name was empty, like an endless void. Those who bravely read the book said that they heard whispers when turning each page, as if someone was right behind them reading along. Some people even saw new words appear on the paper, written in blood-red ink. "I will come, don't go, anywhere." These chilling scares turned the notebook into a taboo object. No one dared to touch it a second time. Asterisk, the story of the forgotten bride is not just a legend. It has become a bloody part of the village's memory. It is said that if Anna's name is mentioned at midnight, the wind will blow hard, the torches will go out, and the bride's face will appear in the darkness. It is a face that is both beautiful and terrifying, her eyes filled with sadness and hatred. And at that moment, anyone facing her will know that they have become a witness to a horror story that will never end. Tonight, the cold wind blows again. The full moon illuminates the roof of the ancient communal house. It is said that the figure of a girl in a wedding dress has just appeared at the ruined gate, her eyes shining like fire. Perhaps the ghost wedding is about to begin, and the terrible secrets that have never been told will continue to be revealed in the next episode.